Question 8 is coming from functions. They're saying functions f and g are defined by these ones here. And where a is a positive constant, find an expression for the inverse of f. Suppose my f inverse is y. That means when I take the f this side, x is going to be equal to the f of y, right? So that is the same as saying interchanging x and y. So I come to this one here, then where there is x, I put a y, so y plus a squared, then minus a. Take this one this side, we are now making y the subject of the formula, so x plus a is equal to y plus a, then squared. Then from here, we can take the square root. When we take the square root, we put plus or minus, you know that. Then this one is equal to y plus a. Then you take away the a to this other side, so it will cross and then becomes a negative. Then plus or minus to the root of x plus a, which is equal to y. Now, when I'm writing the inverse of the function, here it is going to be negative a. Then you are not supposed to put plus or minus. A function has gotten an inverse if it is a one-to-one function, okay? Now, when you look at this one here, this function, it is a U-shaped curve, okay? Because the coefficient of x here comes out as a positive. So it is going to be a U-shaped curve, and the turning point is going to be, equate this one to 0, then x is going to be negative a, and then also this one is negative a, that is the y coordinate. Now, to make this function one-to-one, we either choose the left side or the right side, because if we just leave it here for all real values of x, that means we can get two x values, this one here and this other one here, they can give to one y value. That means we are having what we call a many-to-one. So a many-to-one function has no inverse, you see? So that is why they have, in order to make it have an inverse, we must choose one side. So when we choose this side here, then this one is a one-to-one. For each value of x, there will be one unique value of y. You see that? Okay, so in this question, they chose to the left of this turning point this way. So when they choose to the left of that turning point, you don't need to waste time. You just put a minus here, okay? If they choose to the right, then you choose the positive one, okay? So this is going to be our expression. If you have been following me, I know you have come across these explanations of mine. When I say that if it is on the left, then choose the minus. If it is on the right, greater than or equal, then you choose the plus sign, okay? So that is that. Then part B, Roman 1, state the domain of the inverse of the function. Now I want to do something small here. If I have my x here, a set of values, then f acts on this set of values. What comes out is f of x. This is an input. So the input, the set of input values is what we call the domain, right? And then the output is what we call the range. Now, the function that undoes what a function has done is what we call the inverse function. Okay, and what we put in the function is the domain. That means the range of f here is actually the domain, of the inverse. Okay, and then what comes out of the function is the range. So this will be the range of the inverse. This is the domain of f. This is the range of f. Okay, so from here, I'm saying that the domain of f inverse is the range of f. But when we are writing domain is written in terms of the function. Domain is written in terms of the variable, the independent variable, the x for this case, and then the range is written in terms of the function. Okay, now for our f of x that we have gotten up there, remember I told you it is a U-shaped curve, and the coordinates, the turning point here was negative a, okay? Now we are choosing to the left of this turning point, right? Now, here, f of x, we can see that the range of f of x, okay? In fact, let me just write range of f is f of x greater or equal to negative a. Because it is U-shaped, that means all the values of f are bigger than this one here. In other words, this negative a is the minimum value. Okay, now I'm not going to write this one here when it comes to the domain. Okay, I said for the domain, you write it in terms of x. So drop the f of x and then you write it as x, then greater or equal to that negative a. This will be the domain of the inverse. And number 2, state the range of the inverse function. The range of the inverse, like I said here, the range of the inverse is the domain of f. So the range of the inverse function is equal to the domain. So what is the domain of f? Now the domain of f, if we can go back and check, the domain of f is here. X is less than or equal to negative a. But when we are writing the range has to be in terms of the function. Okay? So that means we shall drop this x here. Okay? And then we put a function here, but it is the inverse function. So I will write f inverse. Okay? F inverse of x then is less than or equal to negative a. As simple as that. Part C, given that a is equal to 7 over 2, solve this equation g f of x. Here we are composing a function into the other. Okay, so first of all, our g of x is given as 2x minus 1, not so? Our g of x was given as, yes, 2x minus 1 for all real values of x, and then f of x is x plus a, then squared, then minus a. So our f of x, wherever there is a, we are going to substitute with the 7 over 2. So that is x plus 7 over 2 squared, okay, then minus the 7 over 2. Now, if we need gf of x, that means we shall come to the g of x. Where there is x, we put f of x, okay? So that means we shall have 2f of x, then minus 1, and then from there we equate to the 0 here. So we shall have 2. What is your f of x is this. So you substitute it there, x plus 7 over 2 squared, then minus 7 over 2. Then there is a minus 1 is equal to 0. So when we open the brackets, we can have 2 into x plus 7 over 2 squared, then minus 7 over 2 times 2, that will be a 7, then minus 1 is equal to 0. So we have 2x, then plus 7 over 2, this one is in brackets, squared, and then this will be minus 8. When it crosses, it's a positive 8. When we divide all through by 2, we shall get x plus 7 over 2 squared, which will be equal to what? To 4. Then we can take the square root on both sides. That means this one will be plus or minus what? 2. Remember, whenever you take the square root, you have plus or minus. Clear? Okay, then take this one, this other side. It crosses and then it becomes a minus. So x is going to be minus 7 out of 2, then plus or minus 2. So meaning you are going to have two values of x. So x is going to be minus 7 over 2 minus 2, or x can be equal to minus 7 over 2, then plus 2. Okay, this is negative 3.5 minus 2. Then that one will give us negative 5.5. Not so? Negative 5.5. And then this one here, negative 3.5, then plus 2, we shall get negative 1.5. Okay, then after this one here, remember the values of x, because we are dealing with f of x in here. F of x is valid for these values which are less than the negative 3.5 because a was given as 7 over 2. So that means I will conclude and say that for x, which is less than or equal to negative 7 over 2 or negative 3.5, this therefore implies that our x is going to be negative 5.5, which I can write as negative 11 out of what? 2. You can write it as a decimal or as a fraction. No problem.